Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racy, and I'm going to be giving the message for you today. This is for Leo and those with strong or significant Leo placements in their chart, okay, for April. So, Leo. Top of the deck is the moon. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Swords clarified by Temperance, the Ace of Swords clarified by the Eight of Swords, and the Six of Wands clarified by the Fool in reverse. So talking about the moon on top, I think that you are aware that you're uncomfortable moving forward with something, and it has to do with what you learned or came to understanding about in your youth. This is childhood wounding or illusion that's being addressed, okay? And this boat that's on the card comes up again in the Six of Wands. So there's definitely progress by the end of the month. And the Ace of Pentacles on bottom is the goal, okay? It's the underlying issue or where you are headed. So you're opening up a door, right? You're opening up a door. This Ace of Pentacles is filled with magic. It's a protected door and it's filled with magic. Now, dealing with the childhood wounding for the month in order to get there, right? The moon energy to the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Swords clarified by Temperance. And so with the Knight of Swords, he's masked and he's stabbing this angry, vicious-looking goose in the mouth. Okay? He's stabbing upwards into the mouth of the goose. Now, Temperance is alchemy. It's the catalyst. It's the period where the catalyst transitions into an outcome, right? So it's almost like a climax that continues to morph and evolve, okay? Whatever it is that you have to say, wearing the mask, especially if you're looking at someone as if they're trying to hurt you, or if their words are sharp, it's triggering for you. I think, especially if you've dealt with this person before or they have said things to you multiple times that have hurt you before, you're kind of sticking the truth to them, okay, in order to create some kind of healing energy, in order to create some kind of shift or change. Because whatever they're saying and however they're behaving or carrying on, like their energy is bigger than yours, right? Because this goose appears to be bigger than the person. I think you're addressing and healing childhood wounds within yourself when you stand up to this person about what they're doing or what they're saying, right? Now, the Ace of Swords clarified by the Eight of Swords. If you look closely at that Eight of Swords, the goose's wing is sticking out on the side of the image. And the person is curled up in a fetal position behind the swords. All 8 of them, right? And they could easily walk out from there and address the issue. And they haven't. And I think with the Ace of Swords being what it's clarifying, the Ace of Swords is a single sword. And I heard the truth reigns supreme. It's almost like a sword in the stone kind of energy where only the right person meant for the job can hold this sword of truth and truly understand the significance of it in order to move forward and be victorious, right? I think that you have walked out from the mental prison that you were in dealing with whoever this is. I feel like the truth is the key, which is why I was so guided to the key for this reading. I feel like the truth is the key. I feel like the truth is what that magic is, because the same magic in the Ace of Pentacles in the doorway is also sparkling around this Ace of Swords. And I think it's the truth that's truly setting you free from the fear of addressing whoever the goose is, right? Whoever's angry or upset or making you feel like you cannot proceed. The Six of Wands, clarified by the Fool in reverse. The Six of Wands is typically a victory card. In this particular deck, especially with the boat and the way the wands are situated on the card, it's very similar to a Six of Swords in traditional tarot, talking about moving on, moving forward to calmer waters. I think you've addressed your childhood wounds from the Moon card, where you were afraid to get on the boat and move on. You know what I mean? Or move forward, whatever it is. Whatever was stopping you. Whatever was leaving you in the dark night. However, with the Fool in the reverse, I feel as if you're unwilling to be saved simply because of the life raft or the life ring, right? The Lifesaver on the card. I feel like you're addressing the fact that you are not wounded like maybe someone is accusing you of being or treating you like you are. You don't appreciate someone trying to quote unquote save you when you're perfectly content the way you are and feel like you don't need their saving. I do feel like your heart's moving forward because all of the other cards hold masculine energies or masculine characters on them. And the Six of Wands has a feminine energy on it. So I feel like you're letting your heart move forward and not feeling like you need to be saved. Okay. Now this could be a good thing or a bad thing because I think it's a good thing either way. Because you're either making progress knowing that whoever was dealing with you was looking at you like a wounded child and they were trying to save you, fix you, whatever, and you're moving on from them completely and just letting them go. Or because you addressed the childhood wounding and started allowing it to heal and were able to speak your truth, which is, I think, the biggest part of the lesson as far as the wounding goes, feeling like you can't speak up, feeling like your opinion doesn't matter, feeling like your truth and how you feel doesn't matter. I think you're addressing the truth of your feelings. I think you're addressing the things that are going on in your mind. Because we got a lot of swords. And I think that's what's helping you potentially move forward with this person, right? So either you're moving on away from them completely because you found your truth, or you're able to move forward and claim a victory with them without needing to be saved by them because you saved yourself, and move forward with them should you choose to continue with them because you care about them. The people that trigger us and challenge us are the people that, as sacred souls, are contracted before we enter this life to help us heal certain things. And whoever you're dealing with is definitely helping you heal, whether you realize it or not. All right. To what end is individual to you, whether you stay or go, to what end is up to you. What's right for you is right for you. I definitely feel like there's a victory regardless. I can't help but feel as if this trigger is going to come up again. I don't know when. It's possible when Uranus maybe goes retrograde towards the end of the year. I feel like because the Fool is in reverse, it's typically related or associated with Uranus. This trigger might come up a second time, which if that's the case, then even though you addressed the childhood wound this month, you may have not completely let it go. You might still be holding on to it. And maybe, feeling like you spoke your truth and you don't need to be saved is one thing. But how you apply that makes a huge difference, because you can say, I don't need to be saved. And the reality is you want love though, or you want accomplishment though, and you're not actually meant to move forward alone. The other side, if you're truly meant to heal this, I do feel like you're gonna, whoever this goose is, I do feel like you're going to want another opportunity with them if you choose to pass it up now. Like, you might want another opportunity to undo this whole ordeal. I'm having a lot of mixed feelings pulling the energy from this reading, and so I feel like your energy is also very mixed. I think you want it, but you don't actually like the idea of being saved. I think you prefer saving others, to be completely fair. I think, if anything, you prefer being the savior for another. And if you can't be the savior, you don't want anybody else to be the savior. You know what I mean? Like, especially for you. I feel like there's a part of you that likes to feel as if you have all of the answers, and that when you speak your truth, all of the answers are revealed, when I think there's a duality kind of mirror thing going on, where you have to realize all of your conversations with another, if you're yelling at another or speaking the truth to another, you also have to be of the awareness that you're having a conversation with your higher self. Like, if you were to slide a mirror in front of you when you're talking to this person, whether they're in front of you and a mirror is between you, or if you're on the phone and there's a mirror literally in front of you so that you could see yourself talking and hear yourself talking, whatever you're saying to this other person, you have to understand that's a conversation your higher self is technically having with you. All the words coming out of your mouth are the words coming out of your higher self's mouth. And instead of you directing it at the person on the other side of the line or the other side of the conversation, your higher self is directing your words at you. So if you're correcting someone else, your higher self is correcting you. If you're sticking your truth in something in order to free yourself, your higher self is also trying to stick its truth in something to free you. So be aware, if you don't quite understand how April is working out, like, I really do feel like you believe you have a victory, but it's not the victory you think it is. I think a part of you is stalling because the truth is these childhood wounds haven't necessarily been addressed. I think there's certain things you might even want to say or truly feel that aren't being said. I think no matter how much truth comes out of you this month, I still feel like you're holding something back because you don't quite know how to deal with it or handle it. I don't feel like you've ever really been in this situation truly before. Although I do think it reminds you of certain things from your past, right? Youth or previous wounds that you feel like you're saving yourself from when you're not. I think you might be moving forward and claiming victory, but not actually making the progress you think you're making. So with that said, the guidance cards, we have multiple 1s and multiple 8s. We have the Time and Tide card, which is 18. The Moon was an 18. The Ace of Pentacles was a 1. The Ace of Swords was a 1. The 8 of Swords was an 8. So we have multiple 1s and 8s, maybe synchronistic for you. Time and Tide is about spells of the heart and rituals. And I feel as though there are certain steps to be taken in order for your heart to heal. I think there's a certain amount of seeing things from a different perspective in the regard of living life, what it would be like to live the life through someone else's eyes, like, and walk in their shoes. Well, if you were them, how would you feel dealing with you or listening to you? You know, put yourself in their shoes and all the things you say to them. Like, you're focusing on all the things they're saying to you and how nasty they are. But in the mirror, they're listening to you and all the hurtful things you say to them and all the woundings you're triggering in them. You know what I mean? It's not just one way. I think you really have to be open-minded in truly looking at yourself from the eyes of the person you're dealing with. If you were in their shoes, looking at you and listening to you, how would you feel if you cared about you like they do? You know what I mean? Especially if that person is telling you that they care about you. Maybe the things they're saying that hurt you are because they're being hurt by you and they care about you, which sucks. You know what I mean? Time and Tide, whoever this person is, if you guys end up going through a quote-unquote break, I do feel like it's only a matter of time before this kind of gets revisited, especially when Uranus goes retrograde, like I said, end of the year. I feel like this is going to get picked up again, and I think you're going to realize just what the other person's perspective was. And I think because you realize that maybe you were the one that was off, or that you were equally off and it's not all to blame on them, that you could potentially work it out later. Now, Daughter of the Phoenix is an initiation by fire. That's a purification. So don't be surprised if it feels like or looks like you're burning bridges, when in fact it's a spiritual cleansing, a cleansing of the spirit, right? The reignition into understanding yourself and being willing to do what it takes to make this wounding issue completely healed, right? It's almost like the Daughter of the Phoenix, the fires of the Phoenix are burning it shut. You know, like an open wound, people will burn it shut. I feel like that's what's going on. I think that the fires that you're facing are completely sealing a wound that you're bleeding out of onto someone else, right? Like you're bleeding onto someone else. Whatever your wounds are, you're bleeding on them, metaphorically speaking. And then almost like blaming them for the mess. Like, look at you, you're a mess, and it's like, yeah, well, you're the one bleeding on me though. You know what I mean? I think that there's a lot of finger pointing and blame that's going on, and that needs to stop. That needs to heal. I think you're learning how to take ownership for your behavior and your actions and your own wounding and what your wounding's causing. I think this is going to be a year-long lesson for you, Leo. So I hope this helps. I hope this helps you in advance, because if you can understand this and you can receive this, as difficult as it may be to receive, if you can accept that you have wounds and that you're blaming other people for your wounds hurting when you're not the one choosing to heal them and keep them from being uncontrolled, I think that you'll be better off. The sooner you start recognizing yourself in the mirror, like I said, that higher conversation you're having with yourself all the time, even when you don't realize it, when you're finger pointing and blaming someone else, you slide the mirror down in front of you, and your higher self is pointing a finger at you and blaming you for not healing yourself. It's your fault. You know what I mean? It's no one else's fault you're hurt. It's your fault you're hurt because you have a responsibility to heal yourself. It's no one else's job to heal you or cater to your wounds. It's your job to fix it. Your job to seal it shut. Your job to stitch it up so that it's not spewing all over everybody, your wounds. Your illusions, your mental prisons where you have mental blocks. You have mental blocks. I mean, the Eight of Swords, you got mental blocks. Unwilling to perceive things a different way because of what these woundings are. And nothing in your reality is going to change. You may encounter different people, but the trigger is going to be the same. How you respond to them is going to be the same because your wound is going to bleed the same. Your mental prisons are going to react the same. Take a look at your own patterns. Take a look at your own behavioral patterns and what thought consistently triggers those actions or behaviors from you. The accusatory finger pointing type of, I'm going to speak my truth and blah, 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 stick a knife in it, it's done. Like, why? Why does it have to be all or nothing? Why do you have to stick a knife in it? Isn't there another option? Do you have to burn bridges? Think about it. Does it actually feel good when you burn a bridge? Does it actually feel good knowing that someone might actually care about you and you in your own self-righteousness hurt them thinking that it's a victory for you? There's something wrong with that picture, Leo. There's something wrong with that picture. Why do you get joy hurting yourself? Because if you get joy from putting them in their place and hurting them because you feel justified, think about that in the mirror. Then your higher self has no problem hurting you over and over and over again because it's justified. It feels justified. You're going to continue going through these cycles where you're losing people and blaming people and burning bridges, sticking your roaring truth in it, and it's done. Think about it, Leo. Think about it. Take a look at your patterns. This is a big deal. because I'm definitely feeling like this is going to be something you're dealing with all year unless you really start to understand it now. You can save yourself. The Lifesaver, you can take this journey and save yourself. You can save yourself from your own wounds. You can save yourself from yourself. I feel like you're the only one that can do that. Only you can save you from you. Your experience is as beautiful or as hard as you allow your healing or your wounding to be. So I hope this helps. I truly do. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments how this resonates, if you can understand this. Because I really hope that you do. I really hope that you do. And that you can save yourself a lot of reoccurring karmic lessons. That you can actually move forward and claim a victory because you were able to save yourself. You can do this. Until next time, guys. Divine Rebel Racy signing out. Remember always, love each other and love yourselves. Bye.